Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to Grand Bazaar. It is the 22nd day of summer today, flying by with not much time left in the season and only 2 bazaar days left to go. I've played on from last Saturday when we participated at the Sheep Festival, and I had skipped the bazaar day on the 16th because there just wasn't anything worth covering. But today we are in for a few new things that I want to pick up, and I plan on doing a half bazaar day, I think, where I am going to try and sell a few things. I've got some random miscellaneous stuff that I would like to get rid of. Always a good idea to try and get back a little bit of my income from what I've been spending, and I also need to clear out the inventory a little bit. I've got a great stockpile going on of some wine, some tea, and wool, all things that don't have a freshness level and that I can keep in storage as long as I need to, which is great because I've been running into some issues in the summer season with some of my food degrading. Things degrade much faster in the summertime because of the heat. So I really need to make a plan for some of my spring crops that I've had for a while, such as my turnips and my potatoes. The first batch of tomatoes that I grew in the basement are also starting to lose their freshness a little bit. I'm not going to be selling all that much today, but I'm going to try and get rid of a few things. Even my eggs, I cannot get rid of them fast enough. I have a huge stack here, 56 eggs that are degrading in freshness. Luckily, I've got lots of gems and coins and stuff. Lots of seeds still. So I'm going to be taking a few things with me, and I will make a return trip if I have to. And while we wait for the bazaar to open, we can have a little look on our farm here. You can see that my pineapples have started to come in. This is the second batch that have come in. So I have one entire field and then I have 2 rows in my secondary field, which translates to lots and lots of pineapples to sell, which is fantastic because that will come in handy when we do our big sales day when we hit the fall season. And my second row of corn and tomatoes are growing, and I'm continuing to just put higher level fertilizer on a few of them to raise the quality. And then I'm just carrying on with my other 2 rows. I have some pumpkins here in the middle, which do take a little while to grow, but I like to switch it up. I had radishes last time. My tea plants have been churning out tea leaves all season, and I've been able to make so much tea with these, which is fantastic. And we also have another tree that is flowering. Our top right tree is our banana tree, which I did mention in the last video, but since then we have one more tree that has fully matured, and then this tree in the bottom left has also matured, and it should give us some more fruit. I got my first harvest the other day, as a matter of fact, and that tree is a cherry tree. So right now we have bananas and cherries, and I still haven't really thought of what I want to do with these exactly, so I'm just going to stockpile them here in the meantime. And then in my basement, my 2 trees in the basement have also matured, which makes sense because I recall planting all of the trees within a very short time span of each other. And I was honestly getting a little bit nervous about these trees in the basement. I was almost thinking that I had made a mistake and they weren't going to fully mature. I thought that I had actually planted these a little bit earlier than the ones outside. And it is possible that I did. Certain trees have different growth rates, but in any case, neither of these trees will give me anything in the summertime. So it is going to be time to change what season I have growing down here. I'm probably going to wait for one more harvest of pineapples before I do that though, because these should be ready within the next couple of days, and then from there I will decide what I want to do. I will probably go back to spring at this point because I still have a lot of spring seeds, and I'll save my fall seeds for the upcoming season. And with that, I don't think I have anything else to really update on the farm. There hasn't been much more to talk about other than that, so I'm going to load a save state that I have where I have my inventory all figured out and where I'm at the bazaar already, so I will see you over there. Okay, so here we are. I really didn't change my inventory all that much. Most of what I'm wanting to sell today are, I guess, what you could consider almost trash items at this stage of the game. Things like honey and bottled walnuts and things that we find out in the wild are pretty good early on in the game, but at this point we have items that are gonna sell for so much more money. And it's just a good idea to get rid of some of this stuff, I think, before I keep clogging up my inventory. And I've got a lot of flowers, a lot of herbs, so I can afford to let go of those as well. I've also been doing a lot of bug catching, so I've got a few different species of beetles here. And a few of these are worth a decent amount of cash, and I'm going to hold on to those. A few of my fireflies are also worth a decent amount of money. I've got quite a few of these lantern fireflies, and the mustache firefly is probably the most expensive bug that I've ever caught, or at least the most expensive one that I can remember catching. So although some of these fireflies are worth a decent amount of money, especially for bugs, I am going to put those out and get rid of them because I would like to focus on my items that I can make and that I can find that are going to be worth more money. Especially because when we do a large bazaar day, we are really looking to set a record every single time. And it won't take me very long at all to get rid of those items. I think about 20 or 30 minutes of in-game time. And we didn't even earn all that much. We've got lots of time left in the day to do a little bit more selling and to also do some of our shopping. So I am going to go back to the house and I'm going to grab a few things. And you can see that on this file, I've done a little bit more work before the bazaar. I started to gather up some of the pineapples. I've done my watering. And I'm not going to go too crazy here. I do have a lot of time left in the day, so I can be selective, and if I wanted to, I could really go through this inventory as many times as I wanted to sort of pick and choose what else I might want to bring with me. But ultimately, all I really want to try and get rid of today, I think, is some of my grass seeds. And because I have so many pineapples at this point, I have 79 in my inventory, not counting what I have on my field. I am going to take a bit of a risk and sell some of these. And the reason for that is because I'm a little worried that they're going to degrade in freshness before I have a chance to sell them come the fall season. I really hope that doesn't happen, but there is definitely a possibility that it might happen. So if I can try and get rid of some of them and sell them now as is, then I can maximize my profits. They're still going to sell for a lot, even if they start to decrease in quality a little bit. But I think I can afford to let go of 20 of them at this point, because we probably have at least one more harvest of those before the season is going to come to an end. So this is probably going to be pretty boring, just waiting for people to come and buy the only 2 items that I have set out here. And now it is possible, depending on what kind of customers we get, that we could potentially get a customer service award. It might be worth going to the Bazaar results in order to do that. But the customers today are surprisingly chatty for how little inventory I've had. And I'm very pleasantly surprised to see that a lot of these customers are buying up my seeds in huge amounts. So maybe I will be able to get rid of these seeds at this rate. Just a huge amount of people sitting outside the stall. It feels like such a waste just to have them all crowded around me. And I sold those a lot faster than I thought I would. Wow. Okay. So $118,000. Nothing too crazy. It just kind of makes up for last week when I did not sell anything at all. And that money should allow us to go and spend a little bit at the bazaar today as well. Shen has some oil back in stock, and I've been using a lot of oil lately. So I am going to purchase a full supply of this from him today. Last week when I checked all the stalls, I even tried to reload and get different results, and I wasn't coming up with any new recipes or anything really all that exciting, and I thought summer had nothing left for me, but I was pleasantly surprised today because Claire has a new recipe for us. We are going to buy 1 glass of beer from her, since we have yet to brew our own at home. We'll put that into our recipe book. And then Nellie also has a new recipe today. She has some gazpacho soup. And because these are lower priced items, I'm not going to buy a huge bulk amount of them. I'm just gonna buy 1 of each in order to learn the recipe and to just add it to our recipe book for now. Joan has absolutely nothing new for us, and there really is not much else of note anywhere at the bazaar. I'm still kind of humming and hawing about whether or not I want to maybe get some more silky chickens at this point. One thing I did buy that is completely optional, and I'm not going to bother buying it on screen and going through the process of wrapping, because we haven't had to do that in quite some time, is I've been buying some chocolate, and I've been gift wrapping them in yellow wrapping paper and giving them to Amir. I would like to try and get his friendship at a higher level before the end of summer, because he will be leaving to return back home to his father in the fall. And I thought that would just kind of be a nice thing to do. I also do have to think about buying chocolate for the purposes of cooking soon, because we now have some fruit. We do still have some flour left over, and it is probably time for me to start thinking about doing a little bit of baking and filling out the dessert portion of our cookbook, which is still fairly lacking. I do want to do a little bit of a cooking episode sometime soon. With the recipes that we've added from the Bazaar, some of these categories are getting really nicely filled out, but we obviously have a lot of work to do. But I am pleasantly surprised to see that there have been a decent amount of recipes that we have been able to purchase that use onions, because we are unable to make these recipes on our own, and it means that we're not locked out of having certain recipes in our book forever. We won't be able to get 100%, but at least that does help a little bit. And that was all I really had to cover. I know it seems a week of playtime would bring a lot more exciting news, but there really wasn't much else other than that. I believe I have one more tree out here left over that has to mature. Just this little itty bitty one in the bottom right hand corner. But other than that, I am very happy at least that we're not waiting on trees to grow. And with a week and a bit left in the summertime, I'm just hoping to get a few more yields of fruit. My pineapples will hopefully come in one more time after today. I'm waiting for the pumpkins to come in. A few more higher quality tomatoes and corn. And then I will be changing the season over in my basement shortly, and we can have a look at what happens with that at a later date. And having a look at our calendar here, we still have 2 more videos before the end of the month, because the 28th day of summer is the horse race, and then we have our last Bazaar day following that. And as I've mentioned, I have been trying to make a bit of an effort to increase my horse's friendship and training level. So fingers crossed that all of the training that I have done is going to make a little bit of a difference, so we get to see how things are going to go there. And otherwise, we will just be working towards wrapping the season up and heading into fall, which I'm always excited about because it is my favorite season. So I'm going to carry on from here and see how things develop. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.